Hey brother, let's discover and help each other. Stefo here from the Tantric Man Experience, back with another video. Today we're going to discover another big block in men's sexual freedom. This will be the second video in this series, and many people think that to master sexuality, all you need to do is to learn a new cool technique. But nothing could be further from the truth. To master your sexuality and become a master in the bedroom, we need to first remove what's holding us back from fully expressing ourselves sexually. That's always the first step. So, question: what are you limiting? What's your limiting beliefs about your sexuality that don't serve the best version of yourself? So let's discover that. Let's dive in. The second big block we're talking about today is shame. More specifically, sexual shame. According to researchers, shame is the most toxic and heavy emotion in the human system. It's a low vibrational emotion, very on one of the lowest on a frequency scale. And shame results in insecurity, numbness, and disconnection from your body. And when you're not fully present and embodied in lovemaking, you're going to be stuck in your head. And your partner is going to experience you as absent and not fully there in that very intimate moment, right? And that is a very sad, it's a distant and disconnected sexual experience that no one wants to have, right? So shame also makes us not living authentically and truthfully in who we really are, believing we have to hide parts of ourselves or live in the shadows and keep things secret. That is going to result in you not being able to express your true self and really unleash the full potential of your sexual power as a man. Question here: when was the last time you stood naked in the mirror, looked at your body, looked at your genitals? What do you tell yourself when you do? When you stand there in front of the mirror? Could it be something like, oh, my belly is too big, my penis is not big enough, my balls are saggy and hairy, or this body can't satisfy anyone, let alone a woman. You know, I'm a lousy lover, my erections are not strong enough. Whatever it might be, do you say something along those lines? And I want you to remember that our sexuality and genitals are natural. You know, boys, as young boys, we play with our penises without shame. To animals, sex is natural. They don't feel ashamed of who they are. So, where is our sexual shame coming from then, you might ask? First of all, it's coming from our parents. You know, they pass down the conditioning they got, often unknowingly, to their own children. And parents often scold their children who touch their genitals. And the parents they might be even more worried about what the neighbors might think if they catch their son with his hands down his pants than they're worried about conditioning the children with sexual shame. Other places it comes from is the lack of education. The only sex ed we get is either from school or porn, and both are terrible options. Sex ed in school does not even include any teaching about pleasure. It's all about risks, illnesses, STDs, condoms, super unsexy, right? Therefore, the majority of people learn about sex in porn. And the issue with that is that porn is objectifying women. Porn is addicting the brain to dopamine and superstimulus. Porn is infusing shame by focusing on performance and comparison, right? Other places sexual shame is coming from is the idea that sex is sinful, often coming from a religious or cultural belief. It's taboo in many religions. It's prohibited, sex before marriage, right? And thus, we inherit in our collective subconscious that my desire is dirty, is wrong, is taboo, is socially not accepted. We literally start to equate sex with something bad. I can't do this because I will be perceived as a jerk or a sexual predator, right? Another huge place of sexual shame stems from social media, peer pressure, and the cultural language. That is conditioning us to be shameful about sexuality. You hear things like, a man with a nice car is compensating for a small penis, or a woman with a nice dress is a slut, and the list goes on and on. So our culture is full of sexual suppression. Whether we like to admit it or not, it's embedded in there. We live in a world of judgments. It's hard not to judge ourselves when the world is full of it, right? So no wonder there's so much sexual shame today, because we do anything from not being judged by others. We hate feeling judged. We hate feeling embarrassed. We just want to belong and fit into the in group. It's so painful to be judged, and understand that people in pain, only those people will judge others, right? It comes from unresolved trauma or issues, and then we project that pain onto others outside of ourselves, and we judge them, right? So never ever pick up other judgments from someone else as your own, because it's never true. So what can we do about this situation of sexual shame? My recommendation to you is to find out what the stories are you're telling yourself. Identify what limiting beliefs you have about sexuality. Confront your shame by learning to adore your temple, your body, your genitals in the mirror. And instead of making love with the lights off and closed eyes, turn the lights on, open your eyes, and most importantly, communicate to your partner about your shame, but also about your desires and what you want. And start to cultivate vulnerability and compassion to yourself and empathy towards others. Brothers, it's time to start to celebrate our ecstasy and pleasure as our natural birthright. Live a life of ecstasy and rid that shame. Ecstasy will rid it. So there is no shame that can withstand living an epic, awesome, and happy life. Start freaking dancing in the mirror. Breathe deeply when making love. Be open, be free. If you want to rid yourself of shame on a deep, subconscious level, once and for all, to become a shameless sex god, I would love to help you get there the fastest way possible. Apply for a free breakthrough session where you can speak with me personally. On this call, we will get clear on what challenges you have around sex and shame, and we'll craft a game plan towards becoming a shameless sex god. If you're serious about overcoming your issues and limitations, apply for a free breakthrough session with me. Go to tantricacademy.com/apply. Pick your time there, answer a few questions in the application. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you. Guys, it's time to be sexually free, to liberate and become free men. Stay strong out there, stay healthy, take care, my brothers. See you in the next one.
The Tantric Man Experience. Unleash your masculine power, passion, and purpose.